If you follow the Twitter account PDX Alerts, right down there was just famous about 30 minutes ago for a guy who was outside, I believe, doing some air stabbing.
Air stabbing.
Going on.
There you go.
Yeah. Nobody was hurt. I just want to start with that. Nobody was hurt, but you missed the show, unfortunately.
Missed the fatal stabbing of the air.
Could have been Riley. Hello, everyone. This is Digital Trends Live. This is our daily show here from Digital Trends, where we talk about the trending tech topics of the day and bring you all of that information to you live as we're broadcasting across all of our different platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, Twitch, YouTube, and many more. You might be seeing us on Daily Motion, Apple News, all kinds of places. But drop us your comments and questions as we go through the show, and we will absolutely comment on that. We'll say hello to you. We'll take your questions as we go through the show because we have a lot to get to today. Let's kind of run through what our list is today. So coming up later on the show, we're going to be joined by Mark Escapa. So Mark is the CEO of a company called Noken, and basically it's a new app. It's kind of an all-in-one travel app, and more so than it sounds like, more so than even some of the travel apps we have now, where you book your travel, you book your stay, you also curate trips based upon your interests. They will curate it for you. Like, say, I've never been to Italy. They will, which I have been to Italy. I love Italy, but they will curate your trip and tell you exactly, based upon what you want to do. They'll find that. Anyway, we're going to be talking to Mark, so we'll have him on. Drop your questions in for him. We're also going to be joined by Atif Siddiqui, CEO of a company called Branch, and this is a pretty interesting app. So they claim to be the industry's leading operations platform for hourly employees. What that translates to is you can basically get real-time loans based on your pay. You don't have to wait for your paycheck anymore. How all that works? Well, we're going to have Atif on to explain that. And also, here with us right now in studio, I'm Greg Nibbler, joined by Riley Wynn. Hello, Riley.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for being here, Riley. So Riley, in case you don't know, manages our social media platforms here at Digital Trends. So when we get to the Read 'em and Weep segment, he is very important for this. He's the guy that you're yelling at. But before we do that, let's talk some more headline news. This is the trending story of the day, and I think it's going to be this way for probably the rest of the week. It has to do with Samsung. It's because tomorrow is the Samsung Unpacked event, where we're going to find out all of the details about their new products, although it seems like most of them are getting leaked already. So we've got a twofer here to start off with some leaks from Samsung. One comes from Evan Blass again.
Yes, he's like a notorious leaker of theirs. He just keeps leaking all their stuff.
He does. I don't know how he gets it. He's the Twitter account Evan Blass. I said yesterday he's the Adrian Wojnarowski of Samsung.
Yeah, he's literally dropping tech bombs.
Yeah, it's boom, there it is. I found out this. And what he posted now was just 2 words, Galaxy Fold, which we believe to be the name of the new foldable phone.
Yeah, and there was also a premature commercial release, correct?
Oh, yeah. We've got that,
sorry,
too.
I didn't mean to go too far.
No. We're parsing these out. No, but the Galaxy Fold, so there it is. So that was one thing that he posted. So Samsung Galaxy Fold. So not a very, crazy new name for this, but I guess it explains what it is.
Yeah, it totally explains what it is. It doesn't need to be flashy. It's a foldable phone.
Yeah, it's a foldable phone. That should be the flash, I guess. So we'll find out more about that during the Samsung event. But now, yes, let's get to what Riley was bringing up.
Sorry.
And that is, spoilers, yeah, the commercial that leaked for the Galaxy S10 already. So this comes from Norway, a guy by the name of Andre Loset, and I may be mispronouncing his name, but regardless, he posted this video taking a picture of his television. He was watching what's TV2 there, so it's the largest commercial television broadcaster, where they aired a straight-up Samsung S10 commercial. Now, this is not supposed to be announced until tomorrow. We're not supposed to get a look technically till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Boom, there it is.
It's there, and not only is that there, but you also see the Samsung earbuds.
Yes, the Galaxy Buds also included in that. So we get a look at the phone. They get the full commercial for the S10 that presumably was going to air around, I'm going to guess 1 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 p.m. our time, already airing. So it showed, a couple of things we got away. It did show the hole punch display that we already knew was going to happen.
Yep, correct.
I don't know how much new we really got out of this because we've had so many leaks.
Yeah, I honestly don't know how Samsung is either so bad or so good about leaks. Yeah. I don't know if it's a marketing ploy or, it happens to them so often, and it doesn't happen to other competitors as much.
Yeah.
Apple, it's very hush-hush. We'll get a leak every now and then, or
right. Or a
patent drawing or something like that. But Samsung just like, it's like, here it is. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's, I guess there's speculation. I'm taking a look here. Michael just said another Samsung leak with quotation marks. Raymond says more like a paid conduit. And maybe that's it. You know, maybe this is all part of their whole marketing plan is slowly to put these things out. I don't quite get it, but I guess it does get everybody talking about it. So maybe that's it.
Maybe the leak has more, like a leak has more hype than just an announcement.
Maybe more than the Unpacked event itself. Whoa. But that's where we're at right now. So the full commercial for the S10 airing in Norway, and also Galaxy Fold is what we're presuming that the name is. Based on Evan Blass's tweets so far, he's generally speaking pretty accurate on that stuff. And we'll find out more tomorrow.
Yeah. One thing I have to say is for Evan Blass, what a position to be in, or what a job to be the guy who leaks. Like, imagine Adrian Wojnarowski. Like, he just gets to drop info bombs on people all the time.
Which, for anybody who doesn't know, that's an NBA writer who always has the inside information, and he's almost always right.
Yeah, always right.
Yeah, it's like weird. And that's kind of what Evan Blass seems to be making a name for himself.
Yeah.
Only for Samsung. One specific thing, but so far, so good. This is his time to shine. Well, that's the info we have right now. You can follow up at digitaltrends.com. We've got every kind of leak that we've seen, what we expect to see, and we'll be broadcasting it and watching it live tomorrow. So you can follow along Digital Trends Twitter account. We've got all of our editors that are going to be out there talking about it. We'll talk about it again tomorrow morning. It's not going away. But so far, I don't know what other surprises they could possibly have at this point.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe they still have something in the docket there. But let's move on. Let's go to our Read 'em and Weep segment and take a look at some of the comments and questions that have come through across our various platforms over, these could be over a certain amount of time, but we want to emphasize that we do read the comments. So whenever they get posted, they will end up getting read. So if it's a certain editor you're talking about or a certain video, that person will read the comment at some point. We just read a few of them here live on the show. Chris Smith, regarding taste test, the new Impossible Burger is a triumph of food engineering. This is a hot button one. Notice no one has ever taken meat and tried to make it look like a giant broccoli stalk. I mean, you know, Chris, I actually probably doubt that. I bet somebody has done that.
I bet somebody has, and if they haven't, Chris, make it for us.
Yes.
I'm on board.
Yes, send it in. You know, I eat meat, but I have to say that the Impossible Burger 2 is pretty good.
I haven't had a chance to try it yet.
I tried it at CES. I mean, it tastes, if I didn't know what it was and you just handed it to me, because I think we had like little sliders, I wouldn't have been able to tell you that it wasn't meat. I mean, the texture, it's really the texture. Like, it's nailed down.
That's
pretty
I mean,
amazing.
that's the biggest thing, I think. And like, because I've heard they really nailed the smoky flavor and like the meat flavor. It's the texture that's been like the thing they've had to catch up with.
Yeah, the texture and the flavor is there. That's all that matters to me. I mean, when it comes down to it, I'm still going to eat a regular burger too, but I'm not going to turn down one of these. But sorry, we don't have any broccoli stalks. But like Riley said, make one for us.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to eat strangers' meat, but that's not going to work out. All right, let's move on to another one here.
Jeez, Greg.
Let's go on. Dean Swanson. Regarding Digital Trends Live, high-end Galaxy S10 pricing could top $1,700. For that price, it better come with wipers. I'll have the movie Coming to America. Okay. All right.
That's an old school reference right there.
You
know they're making a second one.
They are making a second one. Oh, good, we pulled the trailer.
Hey!
Yeah, second Coming to America movie coming out in 2020. They already have a date for it.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy back on board. I am all for that. So, Dean, hopefully it does come with the wipers. We'll find out more tomorrow. All right, let's move on to the next one here. Our next comment as we're walking through, I want to emphasize we're broadcasting live here from Digital Trends. So as we go through our comments, we read them live. All right, Alan Van Epps, regarding how the Pico Brew Zymatic could revolutionize home brewing. Alcohol kills brain cells. It ages you from the inside out, hardens the human skin, and brings on horrible cancer. Use cannabis instead. It fights cancer and stimulates dead brain cells. Wow. A lot of fun at parties, Alan is.
Yeah, man. He's a party animal.
Riley, what do you think about Alan?
I mean,
about this comment?
Yes, that's all true, but it's not going to stop anyone from drinking. It's so ingrained into our culture, and
it's true.
Like, it's never going to stop.
Yeah.
I mean, he sounds like every stoner at the party, though. It's like, oh, instead of having a beer, man, you should really just hit this. It's like, no, I'm good, dude.
Nah, cool. I'm cool, Alan. All right, well, Alan, thank you for your well thought out opinions. I'm sure you've influenced a lot of people on that. Regarding the Pico Brew Zymatic. All right. Let's see, how many more of Read 'em and Weeps do we have left? Let's see, Totally Frozen regarding Dell XPS 8930 gaming PC hands-on review. Holy smoke, I watched a ton of YouTube videos, and this is easily one of the most boring presentations. Either hire a voice actor or act like you give a damn about what you're talking about. Wow.
Harsh.
That is harsh indeed. I'm not sure if that was Luke or Matt, probably one of our computing editors. I really want to know their opinions on that. I mean, I'm not sure what you're looking for in a gaming PC review. Usually, don't you want to know the specifics?
I mean, you probably want to know all the stats and everything like that. And I mean, personally, I can't get too excited about computing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they do, so I'm sure that's it's a passion of theirs. But yeah, I could see how like you could get very monotone and very boring. But also, if it's a gaming PC, a lot of those reviews are done by like gamers who are very personable and like online personalities. So maybe he's been watching a lot of those.
Okay.
And they were more, fluff and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then he came to ours where it's stats and the
actually gave you the stuff you need to know.
Yeah, the stuff you need to know.
Okay. Well, totally frozen. I'm sorry. We'll see if we can.
We'll talk to him.
Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll have a stern talking after this episode. Riley will be all over it.
Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
All right, Pike Bolin regarding Jason Momoa and Oscar Isaac may join the cast of the Dune reboot. As long as Momoa doesn't speak, it should be fine. Oh, come on now. I mean, he was good as Khal Drogo. All right, so that's talking about Dune, because Dune is getting a reboot.
Yeah, I saw that.
Everybody's getting cast in Dune.
Yeah, there's a ton of people on that list. Like, it's crazy. Like, Momoa is not even, like, the biggest name.
No, he's not at all.
It's insane.
But I think we have an article, too, at Digital Trends.
Yeah, it came out a couple days ago, I think.
Yeah, keeps up with all of that as far as where we're at with the Dune reboot. But there we go, Jason Momoa not getting any love on that. We like Jason Momoa here. All right, let's go on to our next topic here. So this is something that was trending pretty big right now.
Yes.
And it has to do with Google Earth.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know about you, I do like going on Google Earth and just like randomly picking a spot.
Yeah.
And checking it out. Well, apparently Google Earth accidentally revealed some secret military bases that Taiwan has that were just available for everybody to see. I mean, this story's trending pretty big right now because that's not a good thing. They showed a facility where Patriot missiles are stored. They showed the country's National Security Bureau. This is all according to the South China Morning Post. Not good.
No, that is not good.
So this is where we're at right now. So we've got a couple of the images or at least one of them, and they were just supposed to be showing public locations in Taipei and around those areas, and then accidentally showcase these top secret military bases. And if you know anything about Taiwan and China, that's not a good thing.
No,
not a good thing to revel those. Taiwan's not very happy.
And it's not the first time that Google and Taiwan have kind of clashed on Google Maps or Google Earth.
Right.
Back in like 2016, some island, they had a base there or something, and they didn't want it to be shown, and Google's like, nah. we're gonna do it anyways.
They did it, man. I mean, I guess that shows the power of Google when it comes down to this.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Their satellites are in space. How are you gonna stop them?
Yeah, I mean, well, aren't they supposed to? They're supposed to go through and actually screen that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Google's had a lot of run-in with like government bodies and like military.
As far as
any
what they've
country
showcased?
like what they showcase. Like, I remember the Pentagon like had an issue with them of like heat mapping or something like that. And, there's always going to be that back and forth where, like, Google's trying to show everything and put everything out there.
Yeah.
And then the government's going to be like, no, we don't want all that out there. I mean, the stuff on Google Earth is pretty funny to, like, look in. Like, they have Area 51. Like, there's different, like, Easter eggs all over that you can, like, just, like, if you Google, shocker, if you Google, like, Google Earth Easter eggs, you'll have a good time.
Okay. So you can take a look at that. I mean, where's Bigfoot? That's what I want to know. This is what's going on right now, though, with that. You can check this out at digitaltrends.com. I know a lot of people are very, very interested in that. So this is from Google Earth 3D Maps, which accidentally exposed secret Taiwan military bases. Yikes. All right. There's that one. Let's go on to a couple of other stories here that we have, some trending tech topics. So every day we kind of take a look at what people are talking about the most and try to bring that to you in a consolidated format so you can take a look for yourself and then go check out the articles at digitaltrends.com. This is going back to foldable devices, which are never going to go away, apparently.
Never.
This is all the rage that everybody wants to talk about. TCL of all companies, is now working on foldable devices. And TCL is if you don't know, they're a Chinese television manufacturer, which they make some pretty high quality televisions.
Yep, I've got one.
Do you?
Yeah, I've got one.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb, our television reviewer, loves them. He said they're really actually pretty high quality for really affordable prices.
Yeah, mine on Black Friday was like $400 for a 55-inch 4K Roku TV.
Dang. Yeah, that's pretty good. And you can check out those reviews at Digital Trends. Well, they're not stopping at televisions. They're now, there's a patent that they filed with some actual renderings of what they're trying to go for with their flexible displays. And what we've seen so far is like curved televisions, which we kind of expected that, a couple of tablets that might actually curve, which is pretty interesting. One of the ones, though, that I thought was, when it does come to the foldable technology, something that actually I would use. And let us know, we're broadcasting live, let us know if you're excited about foldable technology, if you want to see where this is going to go. So you can kind of see where we're at right there. A couple that could be phones, a couple that look like they're big tablets. But the one on the far right, that's the one that's most interesting to me.
Yeah, it looks like one of those snap bracelets you had as a kid.
Yeah.
But it's a smart watch or smartphone. I don't even know what you really call it.
Combo. Possibly, where you could actually take your phone, wrap it around your wrist, and go on your way. I like that idea. I think that's interesting. That idea. Like combining that.
Yeah, not having two devices. Like I know that like the Apple Watch and other smartwatches, you can get like the cellular, so you don't have to carry around your phone and do everything there. Yeah. But just not even having to worry about that or pay that extra fee because it is extra, and just being able to just either pocket or wrist it, like that's pretty darn cool.
Yeah. So that something like that, I think, would be an interesting use of that technology. Like, let us know what you think. I mean, if you're watching live right now, let me know what you think about that. Is that something that you would be interested in or not? Because to me, that seems more useful than the tablet side.
Yeah, than the foldable phone. I totally agree.
Only because if I'm going to use a tablet, I'm going to use a tablet.
Yeah, and like the way that rendering looks too, it looks like it's not so much foldable, but like very malleable and flexible. So I feel like that would make it more durable. That's just I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Just flexibility makes things more resistant to breaking. And so,
although Brian's got a fair point, this is coming from Facebook. Brian just said the screen around your wrist pointing outward is the most vulnerable position for the screen surface. Any smack is going to damage your screen. Good point. That would be me. I would definitely do that. I would scrape it against a wall instantly. So maybe it's not for me. I don't know if any foldable phone is going to be for me because I break too many things. But yeah, that's a fair point. The idea, though, I mean, if it were scratch resistant and shatterproof and all of that, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I do have one hesitation though.
Okay.
I love TCL for their TVs and everything they do there, but they actually own BlackBerry. It's underneath them.
That's true, yeah. Which I think a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
I don't know if I want a BlackBerry phone on my wrist like that.
Oh, you're just hating on BlackBerry right now?
I mean, I'm not hating on BlackBerry, but like if someone's going to do that and I'm going to get it, it's going to be like Samsung or Apple, to be honest.
Yeah, but what if they have the actual like physical keyboard on there?
Yeah, and then Snake.
Yeah, like a keyboard that snaps out, and then it's like a quarterback thing. Yeah.
I mean, hey, if it turns out and, I get to try it out and it looks great and it works great, then you can convince me, I guess.
Okay. Well, there it is. That's what we have right now when it comes down to that. So TCL's possible new foldable devices. We don't know when those would come out. These are just patents right now, but pretty interesting stuff. All right, we got a couple more things to get to, and then we're going to go to a break, and then we'll be coming back with our interview. So let's talk about this. This is just kind of a blast from the past kind of thing. So it's Cern, in case you didn't, and I didn't even realize this, Cern. So, and I'm talking about, in Switzerland, the European Organization for Nuclear Research. CERN is actually the French acronym, but that's what it is. So they're the ones with the big collider.
Yeah.
And they also, though, had a big role in developing the World Wide Web. So an English scientist named Tim Berners-Lee invented the World Wide Web in 1989 while employed at CERN. And I did not know that. So the World Wide Web, that aspect of the internet is basically hyperlinks.
Yeah.
How are hyperlinks
to get
work?
To different documents and different information.
Yep, linking the documents together. So it's that part, integral part of the web. And CERN has come up with a browser that you can use within a regular modern browser, showcasing how the internet was back then. And it's so frustrating. I like to see, guys, you can go on there and try this out. And it's such a pain. You have to double-click every link.
That looks awful.
Most of them end up going nowhere or are broken. And they said, like, yeah, that's how it works. Like, most of the time, it's not going to work.
We wanted to make it authentic, I guess.
Right. And you just kind of look at where we're at right now, with how far we've come. And it's pretty amazing what we have, even though we still get frustrated all the time.
Where's all the tabs?
Yeah.
Where's my million tabs that I have open?
I know, yeah. Just right now, broadcasting, I probably got 15 tabs open.
He's not lying.
Through this, yeah. It's true. I would use a lot of tabs. I would not last very long going back to that. But it's pretty fascinating stuff, and you can read all about that. We're going to have an article, I think, at Digital Trends as well, but I was just reading this that it popped up about Cern building the original World Wide Web browser in 1990 is when they did. So it's basically, since 89 is when he invented it, and so it's kind of the 30th anniversary.
Internet's come a long ways.
It's come a long ways. Imagine where we'll be in 30 years.
Yikes.
Like what it'll be like, that's what's crazy. But just want to let everybody know you can check that out. And we want to get to one other story here too before we're going to be going to a break here in a minute and then coming back with our interview with Marcus Scappa. This. And Riley, I want to know your opinions on this because for some reason I feel like this is something you would do, but I don't know. I could be completely wrong. I'm talking about lightsaber dueling.
It is not something I would do, but go on. I have some things to say.
I want to picture you doing this. I think this is something you can get into. Lightsaber dueling is now an officially recognized French sport. So there's a demonstration right there. Now, let me explain it, and then Riley, I want to hear your comments. So the basic idea is this: the French Fencing Federation, say that 10 times fast, threw its support behind the sport and is now equipping fencing clubs with lightsabers and training would-be lightsaber instructors. Now, these aren't actual lightsabers, shocker. But they do make the sounds like lightsabers. They're actually, LED lit up, and there's a whole point scoring system to it. There's a whole system to make it flashy.
Yeah.
And they're encouraging and fencing's really big in France. They're encouraging everybody to start participating in this sport.
Yeah, I really want to quote something from Silicon Valley, but I can't because we're live. But yeah, no, it looks fun.
You're not gonna get involved.
I'm not gonna get involved. I think it's cool that they like doing that. Jake, the producer, and I actually got a chance to visit a place where they make lightsabers last year.
Yeah, there's a place here we're in Portland, yeah, just outside
Portland. And we went out there, and the guy who owns it is actually like he was the national champion of lightsaber dueling.
Really?
In the States.
Yeah.
And just hearing how into it these guys got into it, like they were spending thousands of dollars on lightsabers and training. You know, I wish I was that passionate about something. I don't think I'm ever going to be that passionate about something.
You're not going to be in there. You could be a representative for the Digital Trends team.
Yeah, no, I'll pass on that one.
Dang it. So disappointing.
But I think it's good for fencing. I think it's smart on the French Fencing Association, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Because fencing seems like it's a pretty exclusive sport to get into. And this allows more people to kind of join that association and pay dues to the French Fencing Association.
Yeah, and that's true. And I think one of the things, okay, we'll get to that comment too. That's an interesting comment, just coming back to what the World Wide website was. Well, here, I guess we'll address that. So Tim Berners-Lee taking credit, addressing how, let's see, let me pull it up here and sorry, it happened too fast. Okay, Tim Berners-Lee taking credit for the World Wide Web is like Henry Ford taking credit for Formula One racing cars. So apparently there's some controversy over how much Tim Berners-Lee actually did invent and how much he took credit for. And I don't know. I was just kind of reading the article from Cern, so perhaps there's a lot more to unravel.
Yeah, I wasn't born yet, so I don't have any insight.
Yeah, you weren't there talking to Cern. Back to the lightsaber side of it. One of the things they did say was it's to encourage younger people to get out and do some kind of physical activity.
Yeah.
Because they're basically referencing that all they're doing is playing video games. Like, we got to find something flashy for them to do.
Yeah, I'm all about that. I'm all about getting away from screens and going and doing stuff. Like, if you're being active, who cares what you're doing? Like, if you're LARPing, that's active. Like, you're outside, you're doing something fun, you're doing something social. Not just meeting people through the internet or through video games. I'm all about that. It's just not my scene.
You're not going to be a lightsaber battler. Damn it, this is going to be my goal now.
Would you do it?
You have to make that. Yeah.
I mean, okay, I'd try it. I want to get into it.
Yeah, try it.
I'd try it.
All right, well, maybe we'll see if we can get somebody in here and we can have a lightsaber battle.
We'll have a fight in here.
Okay, that's going to happen. We're going to see if we can get that done. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. Riley, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you everybody for watching live right now. So we are live. We're broadcasting live. We're taking your comments, your questions as they come through on the show. And we're going to take a quick break right now, and then we're going to come back with Mark Escapa, CEO of Noken, to talk about their really interesting travel app, this all-in-one kind of travel solution for wherever you want to go that kind of helps guide you along for whatever you're interested in. We're going to talk to him about the app, about how it got formed, where they're going forward with it, and how you can use it. All of that, all while we're broadcasting live. So stick around right with us. We'll be back in a second with more Digital Trends Live. Welcome back to Digital Trends Live. Thank you everyone for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Of course, we're broadcasting live across all of our different platforms, so make sure you're dropping in your comments and questions. And we're really excited to have on with us right now an entrepreneur and somebody who's kind of rethinking how travel apps work. And we're going to have him explain all of that to us. But it's Mark Escapa, CEO and co-founder of Noken. Hello, Mark.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's really nice to have you on here. So I just downloaded your app actually this morning, so I was just trying to get used to it myself. But why don't we start off from the beginning, maybe get a little bit about your background and how you decided, oh, I'm going to make a travel app, and then what those steps were.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'm originally from Spain, Barcelona. And ever since I graduated from college, when I was back there, I really wanted to kind of start something and start a startup. And after a couple of years working there, I decided to go to Silicon Valley. And that's where I worked for a year. But then I went to do an MBA at Harvard in Boston. And that's where I met my co-founder, Emily. We were looking at different ideas. We had different concepts in mind, but we just kept coming back to this, this fixation that it was just so complicated to build an awesome trip about, and we decided we could just change it.
Nice. And so you're like, here's something that needs to be changed. And what was the first step in order to get this made?
Yeah, I guess I think the actual inception is I had a terrible trip to Iceland, and as I was going through it, this is where we were having different ideas, and I just started looking at the whole trip and the whole situation. I was like, this could be done much better. This could be done much better. This could be done much better. And I kind of that's when we chatted and decided, why don't we just make a prototype and try it? And actually the first, trips that we kind of put together when we were trying to figure all this out were everything without technology. So we were selling through, email back and forth. We had a very basic page. And the actual app that we put together that we can talk about later, it was not an app. It was a PowerPoint presentation that you could click through, but kind of pretended to be an app guide.
Nice. And so you come up with this, you're starting working through that. Why don't we just explain what kinds of solutions it solves for everybody?
Yeah, Noken is just making it, reimagining the experience of booking a trip, but also living the actual trip of meeting a new country. And so with that focus in mind of discovering a new place for the first time is how we build this whole experience. It starts with the booking process, as I said. And so you come to the site, you tell us your destination, your dates, and we prompt you with our curated trip in which you can make a few changes, select some activities, select your lodging, select your transport, and you just book it all at once. And then once you got this full trip bought with us, you get a customized app that is your on the ground guide that is customized to the actual experience and things that you chose. And this guide is just a step-by-step directions throughout your whole trip and the destination. It starts with things that you have to pack for the trip, but also where you're gonna pick up your car if you have a car rental, or where you're gonna go for shopping if you need to buy some things for the trip. And it's just like step-by-step of everything you have to do, from sightseeing to tickets that you bought to the hotel where you're staying.
Nice. So it's just kind of walking through everything that you need to know in order to go on this trip, which I think a lot of times, when you're traveling, some of the fun is like exploring and finding things out, but those kinds of things, that's just so time consuming. And it's nice to probably have that taken care of for you.
Yeah, and I think one of the coolest pieces of this is that because we become this like one-stop shop for this international trip, you just get everything taken care of at once, and at the same time, it's just like at the same price that you would have if you booked elsewhere online. We only charge a transparent $5 per person per day fee that covers this like personalized app that comes with human support for at any time that you need on the trip. If you get lost, or if you wake up late or something happens, you always have humans that can help you figure it out.
That's nice. So personal, somebody you can actually contact for $5 a day, and they will help you out.
Exactly.
Wow, that's actually really impressive right there, because going through a lot of travel apps, it's always really hard to get through to somebody. If there's something going on, or if you have a question, that's usually an issue. So how do you curate your content? How do you curate these guides? Who's working on this? Like, who are these people that you can contact?
Yeah, we do have a team that does expansion in-house, and that we divide the process in two parts. First, we actually do a lot of secondary research. That's, I think, what happens with the internet today. There's just so much information out there. So we spend a lot of time actually looking at what is out there. What are the guides? What are the bloggers? What are the local influencers? But also like the American travelers talking about this destination. And once we have all this information, we actually travel in the ground. We get connected with locals, but also the tourism board, and we really get to know the destination to just curate our trip. And in the end, our trips, I think the beauty of it is that there's a curation with always the thought in mind that this is the first time that you're visiting the destination, but also at the same time, it does allow you for a few choices that you can make. So it's not cookie cutter, but it's actually your experience.
Yeah, I was looking at it. So when you walk through, you kind of pick what it is you're interested in, but then also, do you want, what kind of lodging you're looking for? What kind of experiences? Do you want more off the beat? Do you want to go to the main tourist destinations? Like all kinds of different things through that. That's a lot of information to store per destination.
Yeah, so I think that's one of like another thing that it's a very cool advantage for customers, is that we actually get to know every destination before we launch it. I guess like the detriment for, from the startup perspective is like, then you cannot launch, you are not live in every destination right now. We're live in only the selected destinations that we've gotten to know really well. With that said though, we're really focused on expansion. So we're launching new countries every month.
Yeah, I was taking a look. Actually, I've got the app here on my phone. I think it's like every 2 months you're going to be rolling out another destination.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Exactly. So working on speeding that up, but yeah, right now it's like one every month, every 2 months.
I mean, that's still impressive, just rolling it out that fast, because a whole different countries. Now, are you actually going out to any of these and helping to curate this info?
Not anymore. When it started, I actually did, some of this traveling, but we now have a team that does it. And so, every once and then, I want to try some of the trips, and actually I'm going later in the year in one of our trips, but, right now I cannot do that. I have a team that does that, which is actually a pretty cool job. One of the funnest to hire for.
Yeah. So how do people get hired for that?
I think honestly, it's been the most. I think it's been the most competitive process. But when we launched this idea out there, we get a lot of inbound, and we most recently also had, we had a hiring for our, we call it a chief exploration officer, who's going to vet also reinvigorate some of these trips that we already have. And so we did a contest on Instagram, but we're trying to get really creative, because this is a position that is really interesting by itself.
So how do people follow along and can download the app? I'm assuming in any app store. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you purchase our trip through. I mean, through the app you could purchase it, or you can purchase it on our website. So okay. The products are on the purchase, anywhere on the internet you want to find us. But then the actual trip on destination is through our app offline, so you get the the GPS the GPS capabilities to have offline navigation.
And show up, and you just go from there, and it's $5 a day, and you can contact someone. So other than downloading the app, how can people follow along? You mentioned Instagram for Noken. Do you have?
Yeah, I think Instagram is our biggest platform, is where we get more in touch with our customers. You can always also email us to hola@hellonoken.com. But yeah, Instagram is our biggest platform. We have a lot of contests and, kind of like cool things that we share.
Other than adding in new countries, any other plans for expansion on how you're going to change it going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest priority right now is launching new countries, but also we're, with our current countries that are growing the most, we're also like starting to have some ideas on how to branch out and have some different routes. So that might be coming soon too.
Fantastic. Well, Mark, congratulations on this, getting this idea and getting it going forward, and then actually having this app out there and people are using it. Really exciting stuff. So everybody can check that out, or can go ahead and download that. And Mark, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a good day.
See, it's always fun to learn about something new, and I love the process of coming up with an idea for an app. Probably all of us out there at some point have thought about something like, oh yeah, somebody should do that. But to actually follow through and do it, that's a whole different process and story to actually have something be successful. So you can check that out, Noken, and see if it works for you. See about some traveling. All right, so here's what's going to happen next. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk to somebody else. We've got Atif Siddiqui, the CEO of Branch, rethinking about how basically hourly employees get their checks. It's a really interesting idea that he's got, and with this Branch app. And so we're going to walk through that all while broadcasting live across all of our different platforms. Drop in your comments, your questions, whatever you have. Make sure you get those in there. We will absolutely take a look at those, and we'll be back here in a minute with more Digital Trends Live. Welcome back to Digital Trends Live. Thank you everyone for joining us. I'm Greg Nibbler, and it's always exciting because every day we get to talk about different tech topics, whatever's trending. We have different interviews. We have different kind of things that we address on here, all while broadcasting with you. And so I wanted to kind of take a look at a couple of comments that came through before we have our next interview with Atif Siddiqui, who's going to be joining us here shortly. I want to say to, Best Times Video Tech and More on YouTube wrote, what's your view on foldable phones? Will Samsung be able to pull off a flawless design is probably what I'm guessing that is, which works with no issues? And that's a good question. So supposedly tomorrow we're going to get to see, not even supposedly, I think at the Samsung Unpacked event, which is tomorrow, and we'll be broadcasting through that, or I don't know if we'll be broadcasting, but we'll be certainly covering that. And that's when Samsung's going to be debuting this foldable phone, possibly called the Galaxy Fold. And Whether it's going to work with no issues or not, that's a big question, because I think one main thing, other than the actual hardware design, that people want to know about is what kind of software is going to be on this thing. Because in theory, it's going to have a screen on one side, you'll open it up, and there's 2 screens on the inside. And in theory, again, we don't know exactly how Samsung's is going to look. Whether that's going to work with no issues, I don't know. I mean, that's a pretty bold move. It's a whole new kind of platform. Supposedly, they've been working on the software side of it for quite some time, and we'll have to see, if that can actually come out without issues. Maybe that's a question actually for everybody who's watching live right now too. What kind of software would you use this for, or is a foldable phone even something that you're wanting? Like, is that something that you would be interested in? One idea was that possibly it would be used for some kind of gaming, like advanced gaming, I suppose. You could use it like a mini tablet. We'll have to see how it actually looks when it comes out, but that's one of the things. And the other part of the foldable phone side is that the rumor that Evan Blass posted, so he is kind of the Samsung leaker, he has a lot of rumors about Samsung, is that it's going to be called the Galaxy Fold. So that's kind of what we know about it. We've got a whole rundown at digitaltrends.com that you can take a look at and kind of catch up on what we've seen so far, and there's been a lot. A lot has come out about the Samsung event tomorrow. So there's the Galaxy Fold. That's part of what's going to be coming out tomorrow. Let's kind of walk through actually maybe a few of the things that we think we're going to see from Samsung. So we're broadcasting live, and we're going to have our interview on here in just a minute. Atif Siddiqui, we're just kind of working through some tech issues, but that's fine. It gives us more time to talk about Samsung tomorrow. So let's walk through this. So since we're live together, the other thing that happened today that we talked about at the beginning of the show is that the Galaxy S10, which is the 3 phones, supposedly, that Samsung's announcing tomorrow. The commercial for it already was leaked. In Norway, there was a commercial for the Galaxy S10 that aired on national television. And there was a guy who has actually recorded it and uploaded it online. So with that commercial, a couple of key things that we saw right there. There was the hole punch camera. There was a 3-camera array of some kind on the back. It did show the headphone jack. So for those of you who were worried about the headphone jack, according to this commercial, the S10 is still going to have the headphone jack. I don't know if it was the S10 Plus they were showing or which version, but it did still show a headphone jack. The other key thing take away from that is it also showed the Galaxy Buds, the earbuds that Samsung is working on right now. The Samsung Galaxy Buds are not even working on that are going to be coming out. One issue, or one possible idea was that in order to encourage people to pre-order the new S10s is that they would come free with the Galaxy Buds. Is that enough of an influence for you to want to buy that? I don't know if that would be enough for me because the price on these phones is looking pretty high. And that's part of the other rumors. So walking through, again, some of the Samsung rumors about the Samsung Unpacked event that we know so far. Price-wise, it's estimated that the Samsung S10 Plus, like the premium version, may be up to $1,400 for a phone. Is $1,400 something that you would be willing to pay for a phone? That's a little bit out of my price range, maybe even higher than that. There was another estimate that even put it higher. It'll be interesting to see how much it's going to be and what people are going to be willing to pay for this brand new Samsung phone. So check up on that at digitaltrends.com. You can keep up to date with all of the Samsung Unpacked rumors right there. Stay up to date with us. Follow us on Twitter. All right, now let's go ahead and bring on our next guest. It was so much fun here on Digital Trends to talk to entrepreneurs, people who come up with new ways of thinking about ordinary things that we're used to, but just using tech to put it in a new light. And that's what our next guest, Atif Siddiqui, who is the founder and CEO of Branch, is joining us right now. Hello, Atif.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, so thank you so much for joining us right now. So excited to have you on here. So the concept of your app is really interesting to me because it just seems so outside of the box of something that we're so used to thinking about. Maybe just to start off, why don't you maybe walk us through what exactly Branch is?
Sure, yeah, I would love to. So Branch is a mobile-first technology that provides schedule and financial flexibility for hourly employees. So what that means for an hourly associate is that they can swap shifts with one another, they can pick up shifts, outside of their home store that they were hired in, so anywhere across the company. And finally, they can get paid for that shift instantly right after they work it. The reasons why these companies love us is because it's helping them reduce their turnover, which is a big issue for a lot of the companies we work with, helping them reduce excess labor costs like overtime. They're not having people stay late. And, managers now are repurposing the time that they save by using Branch to do things that are, customer specific, like servicing their customers that come into like a store or whatnot.
So that's a lot to unpack there as far as what all it does. And I want to go through kind of each one of these things, each one of these aspects that you brought up. Maybe to go back just a little bit further, how did you come up with this idea? Like, what was the precipice of all this?
Yeah, so I had worked in retail, over a decade ago, and I found that a lot of the technology available for associates right now, hourly employees, were still the same things I was using, basically text messaging, maybe an ad hoc Facebook group that they joined to help with some of the day-to-day operations like trading shares and whatnot. And, when the premise was very simple, we looked at the software in the space and we thought, nothing's really built for the hourly employee themselves. How about we just build something specific for the hourly employee, something they would love to use every day, something that's user-friendly and, very similar to an application they would use in their personal lives. And we launched it as a free app specific for hourly employees, and it just took off to tens of thousands of locations.
So, and I totally understand that anybody who's ever worked hourly before, especially across different branches, it can be a real pain to figure out what your schedule is. If you need to change something, that would make it a lot easier as far as interacting and going through that aspect. Now, I want to ask about this pay side of it. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, but essentially you're saying like if an employee goes and works, 8 hours, but their pay period is for 2 weeks, they can get paid for that day, the same day, like that moment.
Yeah, that's correct.
How does that work?
Yeah, maybe step back a bit and walk you through how we came up with this idea. We added a very simple wage tracker in our application. This was just allowing employees to understand how much they make in a given work week, and the reception from that was really great. And so we started digging into and unpacking this problem, and we found that obviously financial unpredictability was a big part of the everyday lives of these hourly employees. And, we started uncovering that 70% of employees on our platform were borrowing money from a family or friend in the last 90 days. And we thought, we have all the data on when these people clock in, how often they work. They're working at these companies which are very reliable. How about we just give them a portion of their paycheck in advance if they need it? And so that's what we started to do. So we're basically providing these employees a portion of their paycheck. It's not, 100%, but if they need it for some, financial event that happens in their lives, and then they pay us essentially back once they get paid on their payday.
Where does that money come from?
So we are actually floating the money
from
Branch and saying, hey, if you need $100 and, you're making $1,000 in 2 weeks, that we simply deduct it from your paycheck.
Wow. And now you said that this was free for hourly employees. So is that part free? Is there a finance fee? where's the money made in all of this?
Yeah. So, we work directly with companies. And the big benefit for companies that we work with are, they get some sort of administrative control, role-based access, as well as integrations into all their back-end technology and their their infrastructure. So things back.
So it can work with their accounting software or whatever else, that the company has. This all integrates into that.
Exactly.
That's a lot of integration that must take place with that. That's really impressive. Well, and how long has this been out?
So we launched the company in 2015.
Okay.
And, so a little over, 4 years now. And, the reception, I think one of the things to note too is when we first started, a lot of it was a timing issue, right? So a lot of employees now all have smartphones. And when we first started, a lot of people were, the employees may not have a smartphone or whatnot, but it's been great, and the market's really kind of pulling us in new directions to help hourly associates.
Yeah, I mean, it really solves a lot of problems. What you've done there with that. I did notice too. You were recently announced as a finalist for a South by Southwest Innovation Award. How is that?
Yeah, that's really exciting, I think, for the company. And a lot of it has to do with, so I think, market timing. I think what's going on right now in sort of a macro level for hourly employees is that, one, unemployment all-time low. It's really tough to attract this talent. And then second, like, these companies are still seeing 100% turnover year over year. So we're able to, really slow down that continual churn by making associates happy.
Adding those benefits in, yeah, that people would definitely want. Where do you see it going? Are there any ideas that you have for going forward that you want to implement?
Yeah, I think, our North Star has always been, how do we keep continuing to add value for the hourly employee first? And so we're looking into, ways we can provide them with more financial services, right? Help them with budgeting, help them with additional opportunities, maybe even outside their company where they can earn additional wages. So that's kind of what guides us as a company.
Fantastic. Well, Tiff, if somebody's just at home right now, does the company they work for have to already be on this platform to take advantage of it?
No, so that's a great thing. So we have a free version of our application that any hourly employee can go to the App Store and download right now and get started with, a group of their coworkers to start trading shifts, as well as communicating, and use the instant pay feature as well.
Wow, that's really cool. So even if their company's not on, they can still take advantage of the instant pay.
Yep, exactly.
Well, Tiff, thank you so much for coming on here to talk about this. I mean, that's a really exciting use of technology, and I think it's rethinking, a lot that we've just people just become accustomed to. This is how it is. This is how things are. My paycheck comes every 2 weeks, and that's kind of rethinking that whole idea of it. And I love that it's coming from an hourly employee idea, thinking about them first and then building the app out from there. Where can people find out more information?
So they can go to our website. It's branchapp.com. And as well as the app stores, it's just Branch. So.
Awesome. Well, Tiff, congratulations on everything. Congratulations on the Innovation Finalists Award and everything that's going on with your company. We really appreciate you coming on Digital Trends Live to talk about this.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Awesome. So always something exciting to talk about here on Digital Trends Live. I love that today, we kind of focused on some apps and some platforms from people who saw that there was a problem or something that could be improved and then went out and built that and made their own solutions to this and are building on it right now. And that's part of the fun here of this show. So we had, starting off earlier today, we had Marcus Scapa on to talk about their platform, talking about Noken, and then Tiff Siddiqui talking about Branch. And every day is something different with Digital Trends. We're broadcasting live with you. I want to say thank you to Riley Wynn, who joined us earlier today too, and kind of walked through some of those Samsung rumors. There's so much going on with Samsung, and tomorrow is the Unpacked event. And the best way to follow along with that, I would say, is to follow Digital Trends. Follow us on Twitter, because we'll have all of our editors down there. We'll be posting and keeping you up to date on everything that Samsung announces, but we'll be having Digital Trends Live before that, and we've got a big show tomorrow. So not only Dan Gall is going to be in here for the intro of the show, we're also going to be going to our New York studio tomorrow, where Terry Fator, winner of America's Got Talent. You've probably seen his giant billboards in Vegas. Terry Fator is going to be on Digital Trends Live tomorrow. I can tell you, I know it's a big deal because my mom was very excited when I told her that. All right, also, Kim Wetzel is going to be down at the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show, and that's down in Las Vegas, where all of that new smart home stuff that's kind of taken over the rest of our lives, that's where they're going to be showing some of that. So she's going to be down there. I don't even know what she's going to show us. I don't even know if she knows yet, because she's just getting down there right now. So that's going to be exciting. We'll have her live from Vegas. So live from New York with Terry Fator, live from Vegas with Kim Wetzel, and then after that, we'll be talking about the Samsung Unpacked event, all here with Digital Trends Live. So hit that subscribe button wherever you're watching to make sure you get the notification when we do go live. Thank you to everybody who joins us every day in the chat. And if you're watching afterward, thanks for that too. Share the video so let everybody know. And we'll be right back here tomorrow, again, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, with another edition of Digital Trends Live.